HPE GreenLake is an edge-to-cloud platform from Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. It offers customers a flexible pay-per-use compute infrastructure with configurations to suit almost any workload. In this series, we talk to HPE partners about their HPE GreenLake experience and how it's helping them help their customers. In this episode, HPE GreenLake Cloud Specialist Scott Thompson talks with Mike Backus, Qumulo's Director of Global Alliances.
Hi, I'm Scott Thompson. I'm the Worldwide Sales Lead for GreenLake with Qumulo, a great offering in the HPE GreenLake portfolio. And I'm joined here today by Mike Backus, the Alliance Director at Qumulo for the HPE relationship. Hey, thanks for joining us today. It's great to be working with you for the last, over about a year and a half now on this project, the partnership that we've been building up with GreenLake and Qumulo and the great momentum that we've seen. But, I know that on our side, we're really excited about the growth we've seen over this period with the partnership with Qumulo. And it just seems like, one of those perfect moments where we have two organizations that come together and you do what you do really well. And it's a great portfolio. And we have, our offering in HPE GreenLake that just serves the market so well as well. And separately, the great value propositions and customers can really leverage it. Together, they're much greater than the sum of our parts with no overlap whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's really important to point out, right? We fit so complementary from a technology offering, from how we go to market, and how it gets packaged and presented to the customer. It's just so complementary. If you look at the technology, file data storage platform, management, it doesn't get sold alone, right? It's going to go on servers. Those servers are going to be connected to network. Those are going to be installed inside of somebody's data center. There's going to be a suite of technologies that wrap around what we offer. And HPE has the full suite of technologies. But it's not just the technologies, it's how people want to consume those today. And that's really us being together here with this complementary offering and presenting it in a manner that the customers can consume and plan for their growth, right? And I think that's where GreenLake is really hitting that market right where it wants to be purchasing and consuming.
I'm really glad you said that, actually, because it's such a key point, isn't it? I mean, what's interesting about it is I'll touch on that capacity management and the challenge really that our joint customers have in that space. But, just before I do that, let me just mention, Qumulo talks about, radical simplicity as part of what you do from a technology perspective. And GreenLake, I think, really adds to that from the simplicity that we bring the customers from the business model perspective as well. That simplicity is key because we're taking away a lot of the burden of support and management of capacity. So it's really difficult in an area of such rapid growth as file data, as unstructured data in general is growing so fast. The biggest challenge for customers is they don't want to overpay for over-provisioning. They don't want to pay for a massive amount of data storage they're not using yet, but they know they're going to grow into. But they also need to know they're going to need the capacity to deal with the file storage space that the demands of tomorrow and be ready today for it. And that growth is just so huge. At HPE GreenLake and our ability with GreenLake Central and the capacity management that we offer allows customers to pay for what they're using, but have the capacity they need when they need it. And it's so critical across all of our workloads, really. But in that file storage space and unstructured storage, it's just growing so rapidly, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. If you look at the global data sphere in 2019, there were 44 zettabytes of data, unstructured data. Right. And we're looking at growth to 175 zettabytes of data in 2025. I mean, a quadrupling of the data in 6 years. It's astonishing how much development is being done here. And, if you don't have the right technology that has an ability to deliver insights, to extend control, to help you plan, to, that visibility, efficiency baked in from the core of what it does, it could very well get away from you. And really, data is one of the most important assets that a company has today. So providing that technology and that overall environment to enhance control, provide insights, de-risk, make it highly efficient. These are key parts of what every enterprise is looking to do today. It makes me think, we were talking about customers earlier too, right? Like what are some of the real world experiences that we've had? And, of late, I was just pulled on the other day to a call with a C-level gentleman from an end user prospect. And, while we were talking at that point in the discussion where it was, hey, I asked him, could he define what his ideal relationship would look like? And he described a cloud-like consumption model, a deep understanding of what's being used, who's using it, an ability to plan around what those different organizations or individuals' needs and consumption is all about. Low latency was important. He has active data or even just active archive data that needs to be accessed immediately with great ease, and any barriers or extra inhibitors applied to it securely, right, was another big part of that. And as I sat there, Scott, it's kind of funny. I was like, if you could think of the reverse definition of what Qumulo and GreenLake was, he had just defined it for us.
Perfectly, yeah. And he's looking for that because of the market shift, and it's so indicative of the conversations we're having every day, right? That market shift is generating a behavior shift in the way that they're interacting with the technology. Our customers, because of the improvements in the technology itself, is generating that increase in unstructured data, and that's created that type of thing is exactly the behavioral and market shifts that brought us to developing the GreenLake portfolio over the last 12 years to service that customer need. And it's absolutely huge. But tell us, you had that customer conversation there. We know about some of the great ones we've had over particularly the last 12, 24 months with HPE GreenLake and Qumulo. Talk to us about some of those use cases really that we're helping our customers with.
Yeah, and it's an amazingly huge list because unstructured file data is being created in every facet of enterprise, commercial, public sector, government, you name it. Unstructured file data is being generated. But some of the really interesting ones that we've collaborated on, autonomous driving is one that comes to mind. When you think about what it takes to enable a car to essentially have software drive it, the access to that data, the ability for the engineers to apply sensors, get the data, and act upon that data with their code or enhance it, and they're constantly enhancing it. That's one that is just a wonderful use case. But another one that I think maybe is more, it touches every single one of us is medical imaging. So if you think about all of the different types of image capture devices, picture archiving, vendor neutral archiving, MRIs, CAT scans, you name it, that data oftentimes needs to be acted on very quickly. In other cases, it can be delayed a little bit, but either way, it's very sensitive data. You want to make sure it's secure. And you want to be able to get it to the people who want it without having risk of it going anywhere else, and they have to be able to act upon it when they get it. So that's another one that I think is perfect for the combination and has been perfect for HPE GreenLake and Qumulo. But recently, we just published a use case, a public use case on video surveillance, which I'd encourage you to go, if you haven't seen it yet in the industry, somebody should go and reach out and just take a look. It's out there. But a really great way to leverage GreenLake to set up a video capture use case in a mobile environment, so dynamic, and then often act upon that data. Maybe not right away, sometimes right away, generating action, but other times it goes into, say, an archive for acting upon later. So a suite of use cases that we're working on today, all with leading edge technology.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's a great one to touch on as well, because that particular video surveillance public reference you're talking about, as well as, another example I can think of in the chemical industry that we have published. Those are two great examples of where actually customers have taken a step further with us, and not just taking GreenLake with Qumulo, but also looked for us to really manage and monitor that whole solution for them using the GreenLake management services portfolio. So many options there for customers and the way that they can engage with us on this. And I'd just ask finally, Mike, for a couple of final thoughts from you on where this is going, and how we're progressing this partnership together.
Yeah, I think HPE GreenLake with Qumulo simply has the right offering at the right time, and we address the enterprise's needs to scale, store, and manage the rapid growth of their unstructured file data sets. It's all about the timing, and we've got it here together.
It's great way to finish, and it is all about timing, and our time's up for today. But thanks very much for joining me, Mike. It's been a great conversation. I look forward to doing much more business together through FY22 and beyond.
Likewise, thank you, Scott. It's a pleasure.